We first acquired our cat in August 2004. He picked out Sylvia at the animal shelter by reaching out a paw out of his cage and grabbing her sleeve. When she brought him home, he jumped and played like a kitten, even though he was 2 years old. He could easily jump 4, maybe 5 feet high. And of course, he needed a name. For this, Sylvia turned to Old Possum's book of Practical Cats by T.S. Eliot.
The naming of cats. The naming of cats is a difficult matter. It isn't just one of your holiday games. You may think at first I'm as mad as a hatter when I tell you a cat must have 3 different names. First of all, there's the name that the family use daily, such as Peter, Augustus, Alonzo, or James, such as Victor or Jonathan, George, or Bill Bailey, all of them sensible, everyday names. There are fancier names if you think they sound sweeter, some for the gentlemen, some for the dames, such as Plato, Admetus, Electra, Demeter, but all of them sensible, everyday names. But I tell you, a cat needs a name that's particular, a name that's peculiar and more dignified. Else how can he keep up his tail perpendicular, or spread out his whiskers, or cherish his pride? Of names of this kind, I can give you a quorum, such as Monkastrap, Quaxo, or Coricopat, such as Bombiliorina, or else Jellilorum, names that never belong to more than one cat. But above and beyond, there's still one name left over, and that is the name that you never will guess, the name that no human research can discover, but the cat himself knows and will never confess. When you notice a cat in profound meditation, the reason, I tell you, is always the same. His mind is engaged in a rapt contemplation of the thought of the thought of the thought of his name, his ineffable, effable, and ineffable, deep and inscrutable, singular name.
Now, the Book of Practical Cats is also the basis for the popular Broadway play and movie Cats. One of the stars in the play is a mystery cat named McCavity.
McCavity's a mystery cat. He's called the Hidden Paw, for he's the master criminal who can defy the law. He's the bafflement of Scotland Yard, the flying squad's despair. For when they reach the scene of crime, McCavity's not there. McCavity, there's no one like McCavity. He's broken every human law. He breaks the law of gravity. His powers of levitation would make a fakir stare. And when you reach the scene of crime, McCavity's not there. You may seek him in the basement. You may look up in the air.
And so we called him McCavity. Ted usually called him Poodle-Oodle or Pooh. He lived with us for almost 10 years. McCavity was an outdoor cat who loved to hunt small game, birds, moles, squirrels, rabbits, snakes, lizards, you name it, and bring them in the house live. He was big buddies with the black cat who lived next door. He and Sam would sit and talk to each other for hours on end. And so we usually did not worry when he was gone for a while, figuring he was off someplace with Sam. On a Tuesday night, the 18th of February, Sylvia let McCavity outside to go hunting for moles. By the next morning he had not returned. Sylvia began calling the neighbors, and after a couple of days we dropped lost cat flyers around the neighborhood, all to no avail. Finally, on Friday afternoon, Ted was picking up tree limbs in the woods behind her house and discovered McCavity's half-eaten remains. Surely this was the work of a hungry coyote. McCavity is now buried where he fell in battle with the coyote.